let's go. Morning team, this is much better. I am on a beautiful walk, getting my steps in. For me, the mornings is my favourite time of day. Like, what a time to be alive. Like, we have another day on this earth kind of energy. And now it's lighter in the mornings, it's sunnier, which makes it even better. So my first thing I have to do is move my body. I'm normally a gym girly, but since I cannot go to the gym at the moment, the surgeon person said you can't really exercise for like 6 to 8 weeks. So I am out of my normal routine, but embracing life and instead opting for some steps, which has been a nice change, to be honest. And honestly, I get these headphones on, I have a sing, I have a dance, and because it's early, no one is really around to watch. And I have the time of my life. Oh, amazing, thank you. Morning, bro.
Mr. Monty Panazar! Get right in the face, Katie, for vlogging.
Morning, bro.
Let's go to the bar.
We've been given the worst parking space in the entire building because you go too far back and you scrape your head on this, which we've done multiple times. And then we're next to a post, again, multiple times. Thank you, Jake. We've lost a wing mirror. We've done it all. I have requested a different space, but they don't seem to have any left. We make it work, we make it work. You're always first in and last to leave, operator there. Top biller this month, not just a pretty face, getting it done. What's on the menu for breakfast today?
Overnight oats, but not my finals for work.
Okay, POA for today. First things first, we have an events huddle. So we hosted a virtual online event last week. It was 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, from 7 p.m. for a couple of hours, all about supported living. Now, we'd run this same event at the start of the year and learn a lot from all the different mistakes that we made. The first event was, in general, like a success, but we identified so many different problems post-event. Basically, I think we had the wrong people in the room, which all stemmed from the original marketing right on the front end. So if you have the wrong people in the room, no matter how good the event is, we're never going to get the desired effect. So we learned a lot from that event, and that was just kind of one thing. We also learned the power of preparation and how important that is. Also, the right team. This time round, we're like an F1 team. Everyone had roles, responsibilities, and we just executed so much better. So it made a very, very stressful time a lot easier, and it was kind of like an all hands on deck vibe. So even on the event, when something was missing, Scott would be like, yeah, I've got this sorted. Like, it was just kind of like all pitched in, we all made it happen. So comparison to the first event, a lot better. Very much more successful. However, our call this morning is actually to discuss it all. So we go through in finite detail what went well, what we should have changed, what we could have done differently, what preparation should we have done, how was the content received, what were the questions like. We go through all the questions that we received to basically kind of fine tune. Like, it costs us quite a lot to put these events on, so it would be a wasteless exercise if we're not learning from each time, so that next time we can get better. 11 o'clock we have the April marketing review. So we're at the start of May and we need to kind of have a deep dive into the numbers. So we look at reporting weekly, but the monthly review kind of is that breathing space again for us to check in what worked, what didn't work, what are we leaning into more, what's coming up for the next month, how should we shift, and just like a real fine tune of what's trending, what's working well for us, what do we need to change, both for KO Estates and KO Academy. After that, we basically have the same meeting but for the sales side of things. And so there's loads of reviews going on today. Then the afternoon, we switch things up. We've got 2 interviews. Currently, we are hiring a hell of a lot of people. Like, we're wanting to double the team. which I know sounds ambitious, but welcome to KO Estates. So a lot of our time is going to be all about interviews and finding the right people. I've genuinely found that one of the hardest things to do, finding the right people. Because once you find the right people, it's an absolute dream. You can hire the places that you aren't good at yourself, which alleviates that stress. Like at the start of the business, I was everything. I was HR, I was marketing, I was finance, I was sales. I was like one-man band trying to do it all. And naturally, I prefer doing some areas than others, and I'm actually better at some areas than others. So for me, it's important that we hire the right people in areas that I'm weaker in and we've got weaknesses in the team. It just makes sense. At 4 p.m, we then have a meeting with someone quite senior in the industry who has a lot of experience doing exactly what we are doing. He's worked at many of our competitors to help them grow and scale. So we are touching base. He does consultancy now, but we are just kind of seeing where he is up to, seeing if there's any crossovers, and generally just having a catch up and an update. So very meeting heavy. Between that, I'll be squeezing in everything else that I need to do. What a day to be alive, another day in paradise. Some of the meetings I'll be able to take you in, others not so much. But yeah, it should be a good day. Jake, live and direct.
Katie, I love your post this weekend.
Do you? Thank you.
Love them.
We're doing a bit of vlogging this week.
Oh, but I said film meetings, Kate. Anyone but mine.
Where do you think the best place?
So this morning we were talking
Yeah.
about being smart. I mean,
Yeah, Jay, you look a mess today.
with this being the first one,
Yeah.
we'll be going through it, but we might identify there's more information that we
Oh
need.
no, the 100% will be. I said this morning to Jake and Kate. So these obviously are the metrics that we're going to be covering in this meeting. So we've got the social side, social engagement, we've got top performing posts, overall leads generated, that's from overall bought in, and then breakdown of those lead sources. This is obviously subject to current tracking that we've got going on at the moment, and then a bit from paid advertising in terms of overall current ad spend, broken down monthly and weekly, average CPM, average CPL, and then just some actions and takeaway points in terms of moving forwards from that. Anything else you guys wanted to see or hear from?
Right, so can I be on it?
Yeah, if you want to.
So what am I going to say?
Here's the lovely Ian.
Hi, so I have the absolutely wonderful delight of working with the powerhouse that is Katie Orr. And one of the things I love about working with her is her energy, her commitment to excellence and delivering to you, lovely people.
I'm flattered. Thank you, Ian. So today on the lunch menu, I should have done it before I'd eaten it all. We're on fuel hubs. I've got Ian on fuel hubs as well, taking over the office. But basically, food prep service, which is so much easier than buying it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Today is honey chicken and like vegetables essentially, but it makes it a lot easier than cooking, cleaning, all that good stuff. So it's nice for a quick lunch. We've literally been on back to back today. Like I barely had time to like just scoff down my lunch over a meeting, but all so far so good. Lots of reviews, which helped us learn a lot of lessons from last month, some good, some bad. Some were performing well and overperforming, and others were just quite honestly not. So it's kind of identifying why we didn't quite hit target in certain areas and how we can make sure that we do next time. So lots of lessons learned. I think data is the most important thing that you can be honestly tracking. Like the more data, the merrier. It's only going to help you make good decisions. And I'm very much like numbers based. So I like to see the graphs, the charts. I like to see it month on month. Hopefully month on month we're increasing, and if not, it's just like alarm bells of why. So for me, data is really, really important. I think picking out the right pieces of data. Because, for example, we just had a marketing meeting, so the numbers are very, very important. The leads, how many leads are we bringing into the business? Okay, say we brought in 1,000 leads. How many of those 1,000 leads came from Rightmove? How many came from Instagram? How many came from email marketing? And have that breakdown. But not only that, but then how many go on to convert? Because we could be getting 90% of our leads from Instagram, but if all our leads are coming from Rightmove, then what's the point of doing Instagram? So it is kind of like that whole life cycle. You don't want to just see what's bringing in the most quantity, but what's bringing in the most revenue once you look at the whole customer journey right the way through, if that makes sense. Because if you know where the sales are coming from, or the higher conversion leads or the higher value leads are coming from, then it makes sense to concentrate and dig deeper in that little section. And now we've just got an interview, so I'm just gonna go.
Katie, Sarah.
Hi! Sorry, I had to fly there because the person who was coming for an interview kind of just walked in and I was trying to wait. Love that for me. What were we saying? It's been back to back. I've not even got out. Usually I like to head outside for some steps at kind of like lunchtime, but I've not had a chance for that today. We then went straight into the sales meeting. Really, really productive. I feel like we are gonna come into this with this new month with new energy. We've got our list of things that we're going to improve on from last month, and we're always making those marginal gains. Then I've just literally just finished with our first interview. I don't know whether it's brutal. No, it's honesty. Do you know, it's actually honesty on our interviews. And they're like, so what do you think I should know? And I'm like, I am gonna be honest. You are coming in to a car crash. And because I like to set the scene, and like, I think I'm really wonky here. I would prefer to under promise and over deliver. Is that the right? I don't know. Basically, I prefer to tell them it's a lot worse than it is, and they come in and they're like, actually, this is a lot better, because I prefer to set expectations. What I don't want them to do is to think that with this slick Rick corporate and they're coming into all the systems processes set up, like that is not what this role is for. This particular role that we need is to come in and build the systems, build the processes. Like they are coming in on square one, and we are going to give them the people, the resources, everything they need to make that happen. But I want them to be very, very brutally aware of the situation that we're currently in, so that we get the right person. Like if it's not right for us and it's not right for them, then we're just going to have to rehire someone else in 3 months' time when it doesn't work out. So I'm really quite brutal, not as in brutal as in mean, but I'm just like brutally honest in the interviews of, okay, this is exactly where we are. This is where our challenges are. This is what we're going to struggle with, and this is what we're going to expect you to do. Have you got the skills, the knowledge, experience, and the want to and desire to actually do all that? And if they say, actually, no, that's not for me, I can't work out of my 9 to 5, I can't do X, Y, Z. Do you know what? I'd prefer us to have that conversation now rather than in 3 months' time when we've lost time, resource, money, etc. So for interviews, like we are very open, candid. We answer all the questions. We really set the scene. We really paint the picture for where we are as a company, because I appreciate people are coming from absolute like corporate, which is a world away from where we are, and maybe we will get there, maybe we never want to be there, but I do like to set the scene and be quite open and transparent of what people can expect, and then when they're in and they're like, this is brilliant, then that's an absolute steal. So next we have another interview, again for the same role, and then we have another, honestly, usually I'm a deep work type of person. Like I love sitting down with my earphones on with no one distracting me and me just absolutely cracking on with something. But today's not one of those days. You know, you take what you've got.
I just got a client that could go for Victoria House,
But what?
Yeah.
that's what we'd have the leftover issues to, you know.
Victoria House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might send this while I've got you on the line. Just
Making deals
because
happen.
my emails have been playing up a bit recently. Just send this
Over and out, team. Half days. These people do. Not at KO Estate. It's bank holiday. What is one of those? Are we a bank? I don't think so. Let's go. Go on, Tommy.
Spoke to that client about the site in Manchester.
Yeah.
Getting price and everything sorted and offer in tonight. We'll see how that goes. Get it over to Zav. Probably, hopefully tomorrow.
Brilliant. What's the site?
Manchester site, 54 units next to Piccadilly. Looks pretty decent.
Nice. Let's do it. This is what I mean about they've given us the worst space in the whole parking place, okay? Remember that flat Stanley guy? That's the person I have to be to get in this door. It just doesn't work. Yeah, all in all a good day, if I'm being honest. So me and Jake had like back-to-back meetings all day, so my brain's a little bit frazzled. But in terms of the team's wins, Millie had an offer in on a block that we were selling, which is a win-win. It sounds like Tom's got an offer coming in this evening on a site in Manchester. So it is all happening here. All is go. We are heading back now, probably do a few more phone calls. I'm going to catch Jess for a walk, but a successful day in the office. Peace out, team.